how you doing? Welcome back. It's time for another 10-minute drill, and this time we're talking about some football, Buccaneer style. And Rick, what are we not talking about now? We're not talking
about practice, Mike.
Right. It's game time. Let's play.
It's showtime.
It's showtime.
Finally.
Let's go.
No more exhibition games. No more this 2 days in training camp. There's one a week.
Wake up.
Hey, I'm here. I'm ready to go. Let's get the game started.
Training camp just drags on and on. When you get to this week, man, now you're pumped.
Oh,
you're ready
man.
to go.
Oh, man.
It's
I
time
just
to play some
cannot
football.
wait. Let's play, man. Let's get it going.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not even playing. So I know how the players feel. I mean, I'm ready just to get it going.
Yeah.
Let's get the season started.
After a month of training camp and sweating, how much weight you lose, by the way, out there?
Well, you see, I was, Mike.
Used to be like 250 or 250.
I was an offensive lineman. I played tackle before, but now after training camp, you can see I'm barely a wide receiver. Maybe a kick returner. Maybe a kicker. I'm a kicker now, Mike.
You're a kicker.
I'm a kicker.
Uh-oh. Okay. Well, here's the kicker. Okay. Let's get right into this. Rick, right to business. Give me a number. Bucs record at the end of the year.
I had some numbers for you, but I've really been thinking about this. The schedule, the way it is. They're not playing the last place schedule in the NFC South. They're playing the number one schedule, the number one seed in the NFC South. So it's going to be tough. New Orleans is better. Carolina's better. But I think the Bucs are going to be a little better. So 10-6, Mike.
10-6?
10-6.
Okay. I agree the Bucs are better. I wrote their record down. I don't think the record will be better. 9-7.
That's what they were last year.
That's what they were last year. They should have been about 11-5 last year, but they didn't really play the last 2 or 3 games.
I don't know if 9-7 or 10-6 is going to be able to win that division, though, because I really think
it's going to be that good.
I think New Orleans is going to be much better than what they showed last year. And the thing with that last year, I just think it was an aberration, man. I mean, and what they added. I mean, from Shockey on offense that give Breeze another option. Also with Vilma on defense, the linebacker, that should show up the defense a little bit. And they just have too many weapons offensively. Or Deuce is back. Deuce McAllister is back. That should take some burden off of Reggie Bush. And Drew Brees is a solid quarterback. And I just think, again, I think last year was an aberration. And they're going to be much better. Carolina is going to be better this year as well.
They got Delhomme back, right?
Delhomme is back, and Foster, running back, and they picked up a running back who had a good preseason. I cannot think of his name right now to save my life, but they had a good 1-2 punch. I know they ran all over Washington.
D'Angelo Williams still there or not? Was he the draft pick a year or two ago?
A year or two ago. So is Foster? I cannot think of it, Mike. But I know they ran for over 200 yards against Washington in one of those practice games. And with Steve Smith still there, I think they're just going to be tough.
Smith's out the first 2 games though. He has to sit down because he.
I don't think it. Yeah, he had a little incident with a teammate, but I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. I think they'll be able to pick it up. And the NFC South is going to be interesting again. And you know what really surprised me, Mike? And you covered the Bucs much longer, but how no team in the South has repeated.
Right. Every year there's a different winner. And if you look, the team that won the year before, I think, has finished last almost every time the next year.
I don't think the Bucs have to worry about that.
Not with Atlanta.
Not with Atlanta in the division, but I do think it's going to be tough for them to repeat this year, definitely.
And speaking of New Orleans, the Bucs open Sunday at New Orleans, and we're really thankful that they're able to go to New Orleans. That Gustav missed the city, did some damage, and your hearts go out to the people that were affected by it. But the city of New Orleans is able to pick back up, I think, and go on with everything. So that's good news that they're going to be able to play in New Orleans on
Definitely,
Sunday.
thank God. I mean, how much just 3 years after Katrina, and the damage that Katrina did to the Gulf Coast, and everyone was thinking Gustav was this was the mother of all storms, and thank God that it wasn't as bad.
Right.
As predicted, but this still should be a happy occasion coming up with this game. I think a lot of people are going to be excited. And New Orleans is going to be happy to be able to play at home. And the damage that did take place there, hopefully for 3 hours the people can, forget about their troubles and think about a little football. So,
right, I agree. So anyway, let's move on to with the Bucs. One of the big stories in preseason was Garcia hardly played, and when he did, he looked very rusty. Is he ready to start the season?
I think he is, Mike. He didn't play that often last year in the preseason. He only had 20 or so snaps last year in the preseason. So, he's a veteran. He knows this offense, and it was good for him to get out there that one game, and all. But what he needed, which he had an injury. He had a calf injury that kept him out for 2-3 weeks. So he wasn't able to, as Allen Iverson says, practice. He wasn't able to practice. So he's been healthy the last 2.5 weeks. He's gotten numerous reps. He doesn't have game reps.
But he's a veteran. He can pick it back.
He can pick that up. That's not going to be that bad. So I think they'll be fine. I think, if it was just Garcia, though, you bring up Russ. If it was just Garcia, I don't think the Bucs were really worried. But it's Garcia, it's Galloway who hasn't practiced at all until the last 2 weeks.
That's just Joey, though. He just doesn't like to practice. He'll be out there.
But B.J. Askew with his foot, this is
They're
the
without
first week.
Davin Joseph.
Without
a rookie thrown in there.
Right. You got Jeremy Zutab there, and Davin Joseph taking his place on the line. So there are some questions that the Bucs will have to answer. Will they be able to do it on Sunday? That's a good question. Going against a good team on the road, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be real interesting.
One of the things I'm really anxious to see is what they do with the rotation at running back with Ernest Graham, Warrick Dunn, and Michael Bennett. They've got some weapons there. I think part of that may depend on whether Askew's there, because Askew was a big key to their running game last year. But just how's the balance going to be at running back, do you think, based on what you saw?
From what I saw, Mike, you're going to see a lot of two backs. You're going to see Graham as well, Ernest Graham as well as Warrick Dunn in the game at a lot of times at the same time. Bennett will be used to spell them both sometimes. Bennett has the ability to not only to break it on the outside at any time, but he can hit the hole up the middle and go. His speed is just zoom. So he's almost a combination of, to me, he's a combination of Warrick Dunn, who's the scat back, the speedster, the good hands, to Graham in between the tackles, smash mouth. You put in Bennett, you could do a little bit of both with him in there. I think you'll see the Bucs trying to go Graham, and then change it up with Dunn, or use Dunn on the outside or in the slot, the tight end spot, and throw it to him as well. So you're going to see a lot of all three, and whether it works or not will be how often, if Graham can get going on the ground, and because they really want to. The years they've been successful in this offense, they've had a good running game. So.
Absolutely, and last year, Ernest Graham stepped in and gave him that element. I think a big part of that, though, like I said, was very underrated, was B.J. Askew, because he's a tremendous lead-blocking fullback, and if he can't play, they're going to miss that.
He's going to be, from all indications, he will start on Sunday against New Orleans.
No, he's the fullback. I don't think I said that.
He is the fullback. He had a scope on his foot in mid-August, so they think it was just a 2-week deal. He should be back and healthy. So, but I think you're right. His health is going to be a key. Even though Byron Storer is a good backup, he's not Askew. So
notice we haven't talked much about the defense because the Bucs defense is a given. So we're assuming that they're going to be the Bucs defense.
Even if the offense struggles, I think the defense is going to keep them in the game. And they've added a couple more playmakers this year with, I really do like Aqib Talib, their #1 draft choice cornerback. He'll start as the third corner, but don't be surprised to see him in the game more often than not, because he's just he has a way of finding the ball. He's always around the ball. Cato June, a full off season, and he should be better. Barrett Rude, of course, Derek Brooks. they're going to be okay.
They'll be there.
They'll be there.
They'll
The
be
defense
there.
will keep them in the game,
Right.
even if the offense struggles.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay, well, we're going to, for one more thing this week, Rick, I'm going to ask you, give me your Super Bowl teams. Tell me who's going to be in the Super Bowl.
Hell to the...
No, sorry.
No,
Now, earlier you were singing New York, New York.
Super Bowl teams. It's from the NFC. I think the Dallas Cowboys are gonna. The Dallas Cowboys are gonna.
That hurt.
Yeah,
Sorry.
are gonna be there. I think they're the team to beat this year in the NFC. They're just. They have it all. Now it's just time for them to win a playoff game and put it together. The AFC, I think, is a toss-up between New England, the Colts, and San Diego. I think it's New England. So New England and Dallas in the Super Bowl. And since I don't like Dallas, let's go Patriots.
Okay. Well,
What do you think?
I agree with you on Dallas. I think they've got the tools. It's time they finally won a playoff game, and once they win one, I think they'll get on a roll.
Yeah.
For the opponent, I like New York, New York, but not the Giants. I'm going with the Jets and Brett Favre.
Oh, no.
And everybody in Tampa is going to say, see, we told you.
We should have had him.
gotten Favre.
We had him.
Brett gets one more shot at a Super Bowl. He came close last year with Green Bay. This year, why not? Favre wins the Super Bowl, beats Dallas, rides off into the sunset, and this time he doesn't come back. How's that for a fairy tale ending? That'll work, won't it?
I think that'll work, but I don't know about. I can't stand it. Another New York team. No.
Thanks for watching. Look for the Bucs preview section in Thursday's paper. We'll be back next week to talk about some more football, and it'll be about the game. So enjoy the show. Hope you enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching. That hurts.
Yeah, Dallas, man.